I got caught mouth chewing on food here. Excuse me. All right. Howdy, folks. I'm Doctor McFarland. It is Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. And running a little late today. And I didn't eat lunch, so I'm got a quick snack from the kitchen on my way up here. And we can discuss today the purchase I made. It's not necessarily an anti-stadium, Line 6 Stadium purchase, but it is something that I've reviewed before. And I kind of wanted one for keeps. So I went ahead and bought one from Zounds.com, which is my preferred online retailer. And I can literally order things and I can get it the next day, which is insane. And you get very simple financing, no credit checks, and it's just simple and upfront payment plans if that's the way you want to do it. Or you can charge it to your PayPal credit if you have that kind of account and you got 6 months to pay it off. Or if you almost have the money but you just kind of need like a little, you know, a little reason to like, okay, I'm just going to charge it now and then I can pay it off when I have the rest of it, kind of deal. So there's all kinds of flexible ways of buying gear and paying off gear and whatever else. So, but there's also people out there that just prefer to save up the cash and they'll either find it used on Marketplace or whatever. And, you can sometimes save quite a bit of money doing that as well. So if you are going to purchase anything online and you want to help support the channel, then check out Zounds.com. I do have a Discord server now, which I will leave in the chat, but also leave a comment here in the chat box. Something is going on with my internet. Maybe. There we go. Let me grab a link real fast. But y'all come on in. Let me know where you're from and what kind of gear you like to talk about and what kind of gear do you have. And man, my internet's being really slow. Let me scroll down here. Go back to my previous live. Yeah, your internet's being really slow for some reason. I'm not sure why. So what is the item that I purchased? Well, let me get my internet figured out here and we can talk about some stuff. But let me know in the comments or the chat. Let me know if you have pre-ordered the Line 6 Stadium, and if so, what's your expectations? What are you wanting to get out of this thing versus something that you don't currently have? Okay. There's the old saying. The grass is always greener on the other side, I guess. But sometimes what you got is more than enough. I'm not saying I'm not going to review the stadium. I'll definitely, when one becomes available, I'll get one in my hands and I'll do a review of it and do like a little playlist kind of thing. But I think at the price point that it's at and what I currently have at my disposal, which I have a Toastmaster Pro right here, which is amazing. Sounds great. I plug it into it when I'm teaching and whatnot. I have a Headrush Prime, which sounds equally as amazing. I have an old Headrush MX5, which I actually used for a reverb on an old PV mixing board over the weekend. I had to set up sound for an outdoor shindig at the church, and The PV board literally had no phantom power, no mute and solo switches, no built-in effects. So I had to I wanted to supply some extra reverb, at least for the vocals. So the MX5 worked great. I just pulled up like an air hall reverb or something and dialed in just the right amount for the singers, and it sounded great. So, all kinds of digital options these days. But here's the link for my Discord if you guys want to join. So even though I'm not, when I'm not live streaming or making a video, you can always hop onto Discord and chat about whatever you want. You can ask questions, stuff like that. So I will also put my Zounds affiliate link down here. So if anybody has a hankering to go researching different stuff or purchase anything, that you can go check out Zounds.com. Once again, no credit checks, fast and free shipping, simple return policy. If you just don't like the item or couldn't figure out how to pay for it, you can just return it and no harm foul. No harm is done. So let's pull up my my page here. And what I got, and I'll actually show you my board right now that has a similar item on it. And then another board, another item that looks very interesting, and I would only get it just for the pure fun of it. But it's nothing that's necessarily, I have to have or anything. All right, so let's pull this up. I don't know why my internet's being so slow. It's nuts. Come on, internet. It's thinking. Okay. Let me go over to my hidden browser view so you can see what I'm dealing with here. Maybe. Dragging it. I'm not trying to drag it out. I'm really not. Why is this thing so weird? I can't believe it. Can't believe it's being so weird. Okay. There, something finally goes. Yeah, my internet's just being slow. Sorry about that. This is the Boss GX100. It'll pull up here eventually. Let me delete this thing and let me see if I can pull up another box. New animated. Let's see what this does. I'm trying to share my screen. I really am. This is so weird. Okay. Current application. Yeah, it's just being slow. Well, I'm not trying to drag this out, but as you can see, this is it's being a little strange. Which is fine. We'll just deal with it. Okay, so this is the Boss GX100. And why I like this over the other product, which I'll show you. They got this thing right here. Okay. So this is a little board I've put together, and I'll go back to my main view here for a second. So what we have going on here is the Quilter Direct Amp, which I did get for free from Quilter. I will disclose that. I am going to be reviewing the NUX B8 wireless receiver and transmitter. And I did receive this from the company as well, so this is something I'm going to be reviewing here on the channel, but I did get it for free. So, but it's also something I've been wanting to try for a very long time. I like the aspect that it has a built-in tuner. You can make this be a built-in boost if you want. And then when you attach the transmitter on the screen here, there's like a little magnetic area. You can kind of see that little magnetic area. It automatically just charges the transmitter up, and it's really cool. So, and when you're not using the transmitter, you can just plug in to the input there on the side, just like a normal pedal, and it just works. It also has a DI out on it as well. So that's a little new X thing. Then I've had this overdrive for quite a few years. This is the Sonic Harmonic from Midnight 30 Music. And I think I have this plugged into the loop of the GT1000 Core. And so yeah, I may replace, I'll probably end up replacing this thing with the Morningstar MC8 Pro. And that has the scribble strips and all the, you can assign what each switch does per bank and all that different stuff. Because honestly, what I found is I really don't need this if I have all the amps built into here. Because otherwise I'd be using this thing for the amp and then this for just effects. And I really like the amps on the GT1000. So I really don't need the quilter. But I would like to use, I would like to try the Morningstar MC8 Pro. Just hopefully it'll fit right here. And what's cool is I can show you pedalplayground.com here in a bit. And we can build a pedal board together. Andrew says he had the GX100 and he sold it. Well, that's fine. So let me show you why I like it. Okay, let me show you why I like it. Okay. I still don't know why my my internet is not showing up very well. This is strange. Strange stuff. Why is it not working? I'm just baffled. Sometimes technology is baffling. Current application screen aspect. That's still not correct. Give me a second here, folks. Let me figure out why this is not looking right. Then I'll talk about it. All right, let's just talk. Okay, I think we're good on this one. All right, so what the workflow is on the GX and also the GT1000 type products. Okay, this is what we're working with. We got 4 switches across the bottom. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and imagine that is like if you're a Kemper stage user. Is very similar to that, to where you have basically 4 different patches that you can choose between. Okay. Now on the GT1000, you have 5, and you have an additional C1, C2, and C3 switch, as well as the bank up and down. So you got basically 2 more switches on the GT1000 versus the GX100. What I don't like about the GT stuff is, even though I have the small core on my board here, is it only has 1 reverb on the end, and I'm not a huge fan of that. So what I like about the GX100 is this is a touchscreen, which is not, it's not either here or there, but it is what it is. And then let me know if you're hearing me okay in the comments. I'm seeing myself being like kind of sluggish on the screen, but I swear I'm not drunk or anything. I'm talking normal, like I normally am, because I'm from Alabama. Kevin says he's looking to the Fractal FM9. Yeah, it's a great unit. I actually just sold my FM9 because I just needed the money. But now I turned around and took some of that money and I spent it on the GX100. So. But it's something that I wanted to have another Boss product in my arsenal that I can make videos with. I can, provide preset packs on my website, stuff like that. And I pretty much, tapped out on what I could do on the Fractal as far as making content and stuff. And there's tons of other people out there making content. So, and remind you, I am not a, I don't play out. I don't record. I mean, I don't tour with a band or anything. So I don't need something too awfully fancy to do what I need to do here in the studio. Even though the Fractal sounds amazing, and it does. And you're going to get your money's worth when you do purchase one. All right, so back to GX100 here. So we have the touchscreen. This one actually has, you can add up to, I think there's 15 slots total you can use in your signal chain, which you think like, oh, I can only use 15, but that stinks. Well, it's actually more than most people need, technically. Because in each amp model, it's built in with the amp and the cab. You can go change your cab to be whatever you want. So you're not taking up multiple slots by an amp and a cab. And you have this, you can see on the screen here, we have this really cool dividing signal path here. So you can have like a clean amp on top, a dirty amp on the bottom. And then when you hit hit a switch, which I have mine set up in manual mode, where number 2 turns or toggles my my up my A path and my B path. So that's how I'm able to go from like clean to dirty really fast. And then number 1 is my overdrive. Number 3 is my tremolo. Number 4 is my delay. Then C1 is the tap tempo. And then within the control expression assigns area or control area, I've actually made this switcher right here, the C2 switch. Right now it's set to, if you hold it, it changes from memory to manual. And then if you just hit it once, it goes in the tuner. Where I made it to where it's the opposite of that. So now if I hold the C2, it goes into the tuner. And then if I just hit it once, it goes from memory to manual. And what's cool about that is you're pretty much thinking of it like, okay, here's my 4 presets. But then if I hit the memory switch, the manual switch or the manual side of things. Now you're seeing your stomp box mode essentially. So I can switch between 4 different presets pretty seamlessly with gapless switching, and then you can also go into your manual mode and you can turn things on and off within each preset according to however you've assigned it to that preset. So it's all really cool. And then I'm pretty much treating one bank like, okay, this is my bank where I have these certain kind of amps and these certain kinds of effects. And then if I bank up to the next one, then that can be like a totally different amp combination with a different amp or with the different effects combinations and whatnot. So I feel like it's a very powerful unit for the price. It's definitely, below $1,000. It's right at $659. You can probably find them used out there for $500 or maybe $450, something like that. I mean, who knows? But for what you get and the sounds that you get on this thing is really, really good. Okay. Let's check the chat over here. I do miss the touchscreen. Oh, of the GX100. Yeah. No, it's really, really good. And honestly, I use the knobs a lot, and I use the page and select buttons a lot. The touchscreen works fine, but you kind of get the best of both worlds there. Andrew says, Kevin Daniels, the FM9 has the best sounds. I don't need all the bells and whistles on the new Line 6 Stadium. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. I can see a lot of people moving away from the Stadium because it does provide so much stuff that, they've raised the price really, really high. So if you're going to go out and spend the same money on a Stadium, then you could probably just go buy a Fractal, or you can buy a Quad Cortex, or anything like that. Joseph says I'm buffering a lot. Yeah, something is going on with my internet today, and I'm just not sure why. I'm just not sure why. So maybe I'll just go for a few more minutes here and then call it a day if it's not going to improve any. I'm not sure why. Usually I don't have an issue with my internet up here. So, but yeah, thanks for letting me know that. So I really feel like that at $659, even at a brand new price, you're getting a lot of Mahler, a lot of great tones out of this unit versus paying 3 times the price for a new Stadium or Stadium XL. And then, yes, you're getting a lot of bells and whistles. And if you need all that stuff, then that's perfectly fine. But that's just the way it is. Now, another option is the Headrush Prime, which Headrush did drop the price of that about a year or so after its release. So I think it started off at like $12.99 and then it went down to $1,000. So they knocked off essentially $300 off the price. And for what you're getting with the Headrush Prime, you're getting some really good quality effects and amps and cabs, and also the built-in like practice stuff going on. The looper, you got auto tune on there for your vocalist out there who wants to sing and like do your singer songwriter kind of stuff. Or what else is there? Okay, I've restarted my computer and it asked me if I wanted to resume my stream, so I guess I am. We'll see how this works, but if you're here, great. If you're just coming in, then welcome. We're talking about gear today, as we do every time we go live. And right now I'm playing. Let's see if this works here. I'm playing my Yamaha Revstar. Let's see if this is going to come up. Yes, it will. Let's choose the TMP scene. It almost magically works. There we go. There we go. All right. I'm not sure what happened before, but we seem to be okay now. So if you were on the stream and you were like, oh, this guy's whack, we're out of here, then thanks for showing up. But I'm back and I'm going to stream for a little bit longer because I want to. All right, so what we have here is the Toemaster Pro. And another thing that's cool about the GX100, which if you were on the previous stream, you know that I bought the GX100 recently. But also the GT1000 Core and the GT1000, they all have desktop editors. So you can just plug them into your computer. I did get a Bluetooth audio MIDI dual adapter from Boss right here. So I'm going to attach this to the GX100 so I can use my phone to edit the device, and also I can stream music to it for practicing or just whatever I'm doing, which is great. And I got a few more people back in the chat now. So we got 5 people watching. Thanks for coming back. Sorry for the technical difficulties today. We're just trying to have fun here. So let's go to a twin cranked sound. Okay, here's the twin with the tremolo on. And I swear, I mean, I really don't know what else you need. I mean, these tones are great. And at a certain point, you may be asking yourself, especially if you're new to modeling, like, what modeler should I get? Well, always get the one that's in your budget. But if you have more of a budget, then I would say the Toolmaster Pro is right in that sweet spot of that $1,500. You can probably find them used for about 12 or 13 now. I think I've seen a few for 1,200 here in the last year or so. But I really do think that the Toolmaster Pro is in that sweet spot between getting a touchscreen, having all the Fender amps, and as well as other amps, and having all the effects you'd ever want in there. The size is relatively small. It's not as wide because it doesn't have a built-in expression pedal. But you can always add your own. Let's see. I've been using... I bought this when I had the Fractal. No, I don't have a Fractal. But I do have the Fractal little expression pedal, mini expression. Yeah, so it has an in and out for volume, but also has the expression on the end there. And it works great for like wah-wahs and whammies and all the stuff. It does take a TRS connection, which is what the Toolmaster Pro accepts, as well as the GT1000, the GX100, many other devices uses a TRS connection. What else is there? I mean, yeah, the amps and effects are great. The size is great. You can do split. You can split the signal if you need to, and have parallel amps, parallel effects, all kinds of different stuff. So with that said, let's actually go in and see. I don't want that to be. Let's turn that off. Let's go ahead and save this, just for fun. I'll show you. So yeah, choose the modeler or the gear that fits your budget. But I honestly do recommend the Toolmaster Pro. It's just really that good. But with all that said, everything I teach here on the channel and everything I have taught either on my website or here on YouTube for the last 8 or so years, it's really just the same concept over and over and over. Okay, this is what I was explaining to my guitar student yesterday. Is music is a language. Okay, and if I just talk in a run-on sentence and talk about my blue car and the grass is green, the sky is really cold today, and my cat is starving, and yeah, I had a pretty good day at work, but I was really bored, and just have constant run-on sentences, you don't really hear melodies or music that way. So you kind of mimic the way you play by the way you talk. You're going to say something, then you're going to have a little breath. And then you're going to say something else, and then you have a breath. So so we were working on this yesterday. First of all, let me go ahead and build a, so these concepts with music also apply to how to understand using maulers. I watched the No Cover Charge podcast with Music Is Win. His name is Tyler. He was interviewing Joe Bonamassa, and let's actually just do let's do a bassman. That'd be fun. And so he was saying he didn't own the maulers. He just likes real amps, going up to an amp and dialing, turning the knobs, using pedals at his feet, all the stuff, which is fine. Right. So first thing I'm going to do is you see the knobs on the screen there. Like, okay, well, I got the knobs here. I can turn down. What am I doing? Another thing you might want to do is turn up the amp level, stuff like that. Can I adjust? I'm not seeing it. There it is, preset settings. So I'm going to take my preset volume all the way up. So this is going to give you the maximum amount of headroom. Okay, so stuff like that. And you're like, Nathan, you literally just added an amp and adjusted a few settings. It's like, well, yeah, that's all you do. But if you've ever watched like Tone Junkie, HW, Jonathan, this is his real name on Facebook or whatnot. If you ever watched his videos, if you ever watched like Jonathan Nathan Court or John Nathan Cordy or any of these other guitar guys that talk about gear as well as I do, Steve Sterlacci, all the guys out there. Hey Steve, how's it going? We're all teaching the same concepts. Okay, we're basically saying that the modeler, you get whatever sound you want, and then you adjust the volume accordingly, right? It's no different than me finding a tone that I like, then raising my fader up on the mixing board in front of me so you hear it louder. Wow, I'm really playing great today. Right? So we have a relatively clean tone, and you would think it's like, oh, I can't hear it, so I'm going to crank up my volume, which may be fine, but you're gonna get a dirtier sound. Like, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I actually just wanted to raise the volume. Well, you got to turn the knobs back down so you find the tone that you want, and then adjust the output level of the device that you're going into, whether that's an FR speaker, a mixing board, and a PA, or studio monitors, or headphones, or whatever you're doing. So we're taking this concept of what happens in real life and applying it to a digital version of that experience. Okay, so okay, and to me that sounds pretty good. I'm actually on my bridge pickup here on the Rev Star. So if I go to the middle position, right, now I got a little bit of a cleaner sound. And then if I go to my neck, okay, something like that. Now you're like, okay, well that's great, but now I want some reverb. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some reverb. And once you get past the ins and outs and like where to turn, what to push, where to put your finger on the touch screen, like once you get past the mechanics and the technicalities of how to use the unit, building rigs is no different. Okay, it's super easy to do, and just treat it like you would a real life board. Okay, or a guitar setup. I'm going to use the 65 spring reverb because it's fun, and this is what we get. Okay, now with that, we can turn the reverb level down, and we can raise the tone. Spillover is referring to what happens when you bypass the effect. So if I have it on, okay, let's do it again. Sorry, let's turn the spillover off there. Here we go. Turn it up really loud. Okay, notice if I have the spillover off and I bypass it, it's not allowing the effect to continue on. This is the same good thing you're going to come across when you use any other modeler. It does not matter what you use. The same concepts apply over and over and over and over again. I can literally make products and courses and YouTube videos the rest of my life, and I'll still just be talking about the exact same stuff, just regurgitated, just repeated over and over and over again. Okay. Pedro says GX no braino. Well, I say yes braino. It is a pretty good unit. I think it's great. But right now I'm using the ToneMaster Pro. Okay. And now you're saying, Nathan, why aren't you showing off the GX100 right now? Well, I actually left it at work, and I'll go live next week, and I'll show off the GX100 and all it can do. And I could be plugging in my my GT1000. But I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to do that in a separate video or something. But so right now we're dialing it back. We're talking about the concepts of how to take what you know in the real life guitar setup and then applying that to a digital unit. Okay. So now we have an amp and a reverb. Now, what is really hard, it can be really hard, is anything on the right side of your amp is effectively in the effects loop of the amp. Okay. If your amp doesn't have an effects loop in real life, then you're literally putting everything before the amplifier. Okay. Now let me show you what happens when we move it. Okay. So now it's just like I'm going guitar into reverb and then out of the reverb into the amp. And what is kind of neat, which can sound neat, is if I dirty up the amp just a little bit more, this is the kind of reverb sound that we get. Okay, let me open up the reverb a little bit more here. Okay, so the amp is now amplifying the reverb effect and it's making it sound bigger. Okay, if I bring the reverb back on the other side of the amp, so it's in the effects loop of the amp, now we get this sound. Okay, so it should be a little bit cleaner. Let's go a little bit farther here. Let's raise the gain on this amp. So check this out. I'm going to bring the volume down a little bit on the board. Okay, so now I know that was a lot, but you're hearing distorted reverb. And that's one thing that is great about modelers is it gives you the ability to experiment with effect placement in the signal chain without having to take, real cables. You got to take a real cable. You got to plug it in, unplug it, move things around, change power supplies. All the things is literally as simple as just a drag and drop. Just moving it from here to after the amp. Right? Or putting it back before. Okay, let's do the same thing with a delay, just so you can feel really confident in your rig making abilities here. Let's go with a nice, let's go with a ping pong. It should be pretty clean sounding, okay? We can turn the mix of it down a little bit. Okay, so once again, the distorted amp is going to make the delay kind of get crazy sounding. Okay, so now let's take the ping pong and now put it after the amp. So this is what we have. Okay, if you have headphones on or listening in stereo, notice now that the ping pong has a stereo effect, which before going into the amp is just mono. So all you're ever going to get with all your effects going into the input of a single amp is a mono signal. Okay, so now with all that said, let's go do a little parallel kind of thing here. So check this out. We're going to move this amp here. We're going to add another one. Let's just add the exact same thing over to here. And now let's move the ping pong into the amps. We should be hearing stereo, I think. Okay, we're actually not. Let's see why that is. Let's pan these. Okay, here we go. Let's try it again. Nope, not that one. Let's pan these. There we go. Okay. So see what I had to do there? Even though I had two different amps, you have a level adjustment and you have a pan adjustment. So that's how you can pan your amps really wide and doing all that. So Kevin says, love my Fender Toadmaster Pro, and I do as well. It's really, really great. Okay. Now, if you're looking on my website, you see mostly Headrush products. And if you were to buy the Headrush Tone Sculpting course, you're like, well, it only applies to Headrush, so I'm not going to buy it. Well, not so fast. You can go through that whole course, and it'll be a nice primer for any other digital modeler you will ever use. Even though I'm demonstrating it on the Headrush, all the amps, cabs, effects, microphone, placements, like everything, you can take that knowledge, you can apply it directly to a Toadmaster Pro or a Fractal or a Helix or anything else. Because in that course, I'm not showing you, hey, this is how you use the unit. I'm showing you how to take the unit you may currently have and just bring in an amp and moving things around the signal chain and showing how it works on that. So now if you own a Headrush, then more, that's great. I mean, you're getting a one-for-one representation. But because, like I said, I teach concepts and not just exact, dry, like this is how the way you have to do it kind of thing. Once you get past the technical aspects of the unit, you can apply it to anything else. So with all that said, so that's pretty cool. Now let's move the ping pong after, and this is what we got. Okay, notice how the ping pong is more subdued sounding after the amps. Okay, I could bring up the mix knob of that, but I'm not going to right yet. Let's move it back before the amp. And now I'm going to have, the amps are going to amplify the effect here. Okay. I'm pretty sure the guitar player for Porcupine Tree, which is a very strange name for a band, but I think a lot of people know about him if you're into that kind of music. He runs all his effects into the front end of his amps, whether that's clean or dirty. And that's just the sound that he has. So with that said, let's move the reverb after the delay. Let's turn on the reverb. And we'll adjust our reverb level. And this is going into dirty amps. It's the same with Joe Martamasa using 7 different amplifiers. And I'm pretty sure all his effects are just going into the front end of the amp, I think. I'm not going to, don't quote me on that, but as far as I know, I think that's how he's using it. So now we're going to go with a more traditional 4-cable method, which just means you're putting some effects before the amp and some effects after. So delay and reverb after the amp. Let's go and add an overdrive. And let's do the Greener 8, which is a tube screamer. Classic settings are drive all the way down, level roughly all the way up, tone in the middle, and this is what we got. Okay, so this is you can repeat this on any other modeler that you want. It literally doesn't matter. Every modeler has their own tube screamer. Every modeler has some kind of Fender Tweed amp, and then every modeler has some kind of delay and reverb. So just whatever you have, I don't care if it's a Toadmaster Pro or a Fractal or whatever else, just go repeat what I'm doing, the concepts of what I'm doing, and you'll get some pretty good results from it. So here's the tube screamer. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm taking the tube screamer and I'm pushing more volume into the front end of the amp, and therefore I'm overdriving the amp. So let's raise these up a little bit more here. Let's do it with both amps. So that sounds good to me. Let's go turn on the tube screamer. Now, if I took that same sound, instead of hearing it through headphones or studio monitors, I ran it through a FR cab, or I ran it through the effects return of a tube amp or even a solid state amp. Now you're getting the amp in the room sound because you're hearing a real speaker cab in the room bouncing around the walls, and you're getting that sensation of like, oh, I'm playing through a real amp. But in reality, you're using a digital modeler to give you the front end of your sound, and then you're using the FR or a effects return of an amplifier to give you the back end of your sound or the overall volume in the room. Okay, so very similar to a stage setup. You may have a digital modeler going XLR to the front of house. But then you might have the same signal going into a FR cab behind you, getting some stage volume, okay? Or I guess the sound guy can just pipe some sound back through the floor wedge and give you the same kind of thing there. But so essentially you're getting the digital front end and then the analog back end, and you got the best of both worlds at that point. So okay, let's bypass this. Actually, just I'll bypass the ping pong. Okay, all that said, that's some pretty rocking tones right there, and I could show up to a gig and I can wax cold on some guitar that night, doing some cool stuff. Let's talk about modulation real fast. So you let me know what you like, but I like to have certain modulations before the amp and other modulations after the amp. So before the amp, I like to have phase and flange. And especially like electric flanger, like this one sounds really good before the amp. I like this one. I'm gonna go turn down this reverb a little bit here. Let's turn it down to like 2. Okay, cool. So I actually had this pedal at one point. It's the Electro-Harmonix Electric Mistress, which is what they called it. But it's basically just an electric flanger. Yeah, Electric Mistress is what it's based off of. You can change the color of it here. So you can change the depth of it here. And really flange, to me, it kind of makes your guitar sound like it's on fire. It's just like this extra burst of energy that gives it this cool like movement. You can do some EVH with that one. I mean, all kinds of stuff, really. Effects I like after the amp is chorus and tremolo. So let's go to, so basically you're seeing what I'm doing here. I'm going to my effects category. then choosing my modulation category, then we can add some chorus, right? So like this. You know, stuff like that. Also like putting some tremolo after my amp. So effects, modulation, scroll down till we get the tremolo. And we do have an optical trim. We have a tube bias trim. Harmonic tremolo, which is kind of cool. Let's check that one out. Let's clean up our amplifiers just a little bit here. Clean them up. Clean them up. I like it. You can adjust the speed here. You can see this tremolo is based off of a brown face kind of amp. So yeah, honestly, I mean, between the Headrush and the ToneMaster Pro, I mean, these are really the only maulers I would ever need for what I do. But I did want to try out the Boss stuff, and I do like the workflow of the Boss. The only thing about the Boss GX100 and the GT1000 is you have to keep, in order to have gapless switching and spillover, you have to keep the same blocks in the exact same order between the two presets in order to get spillover from one to the next. So with that said, in bank one, I have basically just one kitchen sink preset as much as I can load up. And then when I go from preset to preset, I just turn on and off different things. And you can adjust the parameters of those blocks. You just can't change the block themselves. So you can go from like a short reverb on one preset to like a really long reverb on the next one, but you can't actually change the reverb type. So it has to stay, if it's all on a hall on one, it has to be a hall on the other. If it's a spring on one, it has to be a spring on the other. And what's cool about the ToneMaster Pro, with that said, let's just call this one Doc-Oct 21. What's neat about this is if you go look at your, well, you can't really, can you really see it this way? What can you see? What can you see? If you look at your foot switches here, this is the preset foot switch assignments. I'm not sure how you see what I see here. Okay, there we go. This is songs, for instance. So in song mode, you can have up to 6 different presets per song. And then on this top switch right here, you can quickly and easily go into your foot switch mode, the switch from preset view to your stomp or scenes view. Okay, so even though you have 6 presets here that all have gapless switching, like I can also go in and I can type in, Doc Oct 21. So I just search for what I just made, and then there it is. So now I can go, let me go ahead and save this here. So I can go from this preset, sorry, I'm going to go from here. This one doesn't have an external cab in it. Let me add a cab real fast. Cabinet. I'm not sure why I didn't have a cabinet, but yeah, 53%. Let's move that up. Okay, there we go. So let me save that real fast. So you can see that I go from one preset to the next. So this one. So it has some delay on it, so check this out. Okay, so I switched to a different preset and the delay spilled over, which is really cool. Okay, there is no gap in that at all. This is a seamless transition from one to the next. And some other modelers, you really have to compromise on that. And I wish you didn't, but you just do. And on the ToneMaster Pro, it's another check for the ToneMaster Pro here. It's just a good all-around unit that works for everything. Jimmy Blues. TMP doesn't get enough love. Why not? Who is not making videos on the ToneMaster Pro? I want to know who isn't. Because they definitely should. Okay. I think I have, I think 30-something videos in my ToneMaster Pro playlist. So I will have that playlist linked down below in the chat or in the description of the video when I'm done streaming. And whatever else. But yeah, ToneMaster Pro is just really good. And it has a phone app. And it has an iPad app. And you can edit it here on the screen. And it has Bluetooth. And I literally, for $1,500 or $16 or whatever it is right now, it's just a really good deal. I can't recommend them enough. Is the RevStar an evolution of the Yamaha SG2000? I'm not sure. Let me go check that out. Because I'm not familiar with that one. Let's go see. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Okay, let's see. Yamaha SG2000. Oh, baby. Those are pretty cool. I have seen those. Sorensen, some YouTube player person. There's a lot of vintage ones out there, apparently. Yeah, let me try to show you a picture here. Oh, these are nice. These are nice guitars for sure. Let's go to Reverb. Let's go to Head and Browser. This thing is way too wide. Hello. We want to show the current application. All right, there we go. Yamaha SG2000 is going to get you this kind of thing. So it looks like the horns are they're a little less shallow. This has more of like a wider scoop. Why can't I click on this thing? I mean, they look cool. I mean, they're very cool. But you can buy this guitar right now from Zounds.com for $849, and it has stainless steel frets, which is exactly why I bought it. I don't want any more guitars that don't have stainless steel frets on them. And also that's from 1981. So I mean, maybe that's also from Japan. So maybe it's like a investment in your future, possibly. Like this one's $5,500. I mean, that's a hard sell for me. But if you're a collector and you know what you're doing, then, you know, great. But this looks like this might have some damage on it as well. Maybe just a smudge on there. Definitely some damage on the back. But I can't imagine they sound any better than what these the RevStars sound like. I love this thing. It plays great, feels great. And does everything I need it to do. It used to be the Les Paul killer, I'm sure. Designed by Santana as a brass sustain block under the bridge. Yeah, I mean, I think they're really cool looking. I don't know if I'd spend the money for a vintage one. Anytime you can get a really good guitar for under $1,000 with stainless steel frets, I say go for it. And I say buy it through my affiliate link so I get a little bit of kickback from it. So. But yeah, I mean, those are cool. I have seen those before. Definitely I've seen those. Wow, what am I doing here? Let's go into here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's turn off this tremolo here. I don't have anything assigned to my foot switches right now. All right, let's see. It's about 5:27. I've been going for a little over an hour or so. If there's any more questions, feel free to let me know. I can stay on for a few more minutes, but I got some work to do, and I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I'm really hungry. I currently work for Harrison Audio, which is a great company, and I love working there. It's really fun. I like helping people, answer questions about the software and whatever else. But I am taking the next 60 days or so because I have a free trial. Everyone can have a free trial of Cubase 14. And I think there's a Cubase 15 coming out very soon, maybe sometime in November. So I'm going to be looking out for that one. And I really like the native vocal tuning, the native stretch options in there, which is really cool. I watched a video yesterday where it said you could literally drag in a stereo song, like a song, into Cubase, and it'll take the vocals out for you, which is killer. I mean, it's just insane what you can get with that. So if I do end up buying it, it'll probably be, unless it goes on sale, it'll probably be about $500 or so. But I think with the features that it has, it's kind of like to me, Cubase is like, okay, let's break this down. Let's do some comparison in real life comparisons here. Cubase, it has so many features. It's going to be like the Line 6 Stadium. And guess what? They're actually both owned by Yamaha. So Cubase is a Yamaha product. Is it? Steinberg. I think Steinberg is owned by Yamaha. But anyway, Line 6 is also owned by Yamaha. Yamaha is also owned by Yamaha. I have a Yamaha TF5 right here in front of me. I have a Yamaha bass. I have the Yamaha Revstar. I'm currently reviewing some Yamaha acoustics that sound and play really, really well, that I would highly recommend at their price point. And Yamaha just makes really good stuff. So I think the comparison I'm going to end with here is Cubase, the DAW, the DAW, the digital audio workstation, has all the features like you would get on the Line 6 Stadium XL or something, right? But if you don't need all those features, maybe you're a Reaper user. Maybe you're a Pro Tools user because you're working in professional, quote unquote, professional studios every day, and your clientele just expects you to use Pro Tools, right? And if you're not into the recording world, then this is not something, not a concept that you're really aware about. But if you've ever tried to record anything in your life, whether you're on Mac, Windows, or Linux, Cakewalk, Sonar was a really cool program I used back in like 25 years ago. Nowadays, you can use stuff like Audacity. There's Studio One, which is owned by which is a PreSonus product. I do prefer Harrison Mixbus or Mixbus, the DAW, because it has that console style workflow for mixing. But I am going to admit that when it comes to working with clients, you don't always get a vocal that's perfectly in tune. You don't always get a performance that is rhythmically correct. Phrasing and all that. So sometimes you do need some tools that can help you manage those kind of things. And Mixbus just, just kind of falls short. Not saying it's bad, it just falls short in those areas. So I did purchase Melodyne many years ago, and I do use that for vocal tuning when I have to. But investing in Cubase that I know has like a native tuning option, a native way to like stretch audio and all this stuff with literally zero artifacts. Plus all the plugins that like the stock plugins that comes with, the instruments that comes with. I think I can do some damage with some Cubase. So over the next 60 days, because you get 60 days of a free trial before you have to pay anything with Cubase. I'm going to learn Cubase. I'm going to learn it like the back of my hand. Figure it out just like I do with all these modeling and all these other gear. And maybe I'll start doing some Cubase tutorials on my website or on my YouTube channel for people that want to learn Cubase. So anyway, that's what I'm up to here lately, and that's where my mind is. I did have my 18th wedding anniversary yesterday with my wife and I, with my wife, and who is a woman, by the way. Yeah, 18 blissful years, 4 kids, and we're just having fun living life. So all things go over here is going good at the McFarland house. Hope everything is good with you guys wherever you're at. Stay safe out there, and just love friends, love your family, and if you can afford to have some gear to make your life more enjoyable because you're a musician and you just want to play music, then that's great. So let's see. Jimmy Blues, the Japanese rev star, has a carbon reinforced neck, right? Yes, that's true. It is also a little bit more expensive. It's like $1,500 to $1,800 versus $859. But I think this guitar is really, 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 really good for $859. This thing is a killer deal, man. You got the glossy body, but the satin neck, which is just super smooth. The tuners are really solid. The strings go straight through the nut. Yeah, they go straight through the nut, so they don't crimp or anything like a Les Paul would. And there's like a little bit of break in there, but not as bad as what a Gibson is. And all right, so I'm going to go download Cubase on this machine, which I've already done on my laptop and also my work computer. And I'm just going to be learning it, throughout the next 60 days. And thanks, Jimmy. It's been a long and strange ride, let me tell you. Not strange. It's been fun. So you guys be sure to subscribe down below. Join my Discord server, which I also have in the description, but also linked it on the top of the chat here. So if you can go check that out. I also have my Zounds affiliate link there in the top of the chat, which I'll also have in the description of this video and all my other videos. And check out drmcfarlandstudios.com. And I will see you guys in the next video. Keep rocking.